Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a minute. This year has been so crazy. I'm doing a shoot for this collaboration I did with Olens, and I figured since I'm getting ready, why not film a get ready along with me while I give you a life update. Wanted to touch on some personal growth that I had in 2023. Also wanted to share a crazy manifestation hack that has changed my life that I started last year and has completely changed my life this year. It's probably one of the few manifestation hacks that I personally believe works. And so I wanted to touch on that. And I wanted to announce that I am coming out with a podcast. I'm so excited. There's a lot for us to cover in this video. It's a very long video, but I am looking forward to just walking you through just everything that's been happening. So we're going to begin first with skin prep. So I wanted to talk about end of the year recap. What has been happening? So biggest lifestyle change for me this year has been my spiritual practice. I grew up with two parents who were Buddhist, and at the age of 5, I remember walking to school. I walked past this church, and the moment I saw the cross, it's hard for me to describe it, but the moment I saw the cross, I just knew that there was something about it that really drew me into the church. I remember that Sunday I asked my mom if we can go in that building, and we did. She took me into the church, and it was during Easter, and there were all these kids like coloring books, and there was like Easter eggs. You know, both my parents were Buddhists. They didn't know what Christianity was or even Jesus, but I would say that was the moment where I felt really drawn into the story of Christ. And that church taught me how to pray. So every night I would pray. It just became part of my routine when I was a child. And I was a pretty devout follower to the Christian faith. And then I would say like maybe 10 years ago, things started changing for me. I started to question my faith. I started to get curious about all the different religions and just learning and understanding about all the different stories and all the different sacred texts. And so that led me in many different directions, and I kind of went on that journey. And I would say during that time, I started to fall away from my faith. I started praying less. I would say like my spiritual practice was not as strong. And I think because of that, honestly, I would say I started to care less. I cared less. I was very detached from my spiritual practice. And it wasn't until this year, during the summer, something happened. I had a very powerful spiritual awakening, and any of you who've ever felt it, you kind of know, like when you feel the presence of the Holy Spirit and you feel, I would call it perfect love, divine love, the love of God. When you actually feel it in your body, in your soul, in your spirit, it completely changes you. And what's been so insane is just the manifestations, like just the synchronicities of my prayers. You want that confirmation. You're asking God, like, can you show me a sign? Show me something. And then I immediately get it. I get the signs. It's so insane. And I'm pretty specific on what I'm asking for. Just the night and day difference of receiving the answers and receiving the epiphanies has been so mind-blowingly game changer in my life that I would say this shift in my life has reignited the spark that I've been looking for so long. Because I felt like for the longest time, I just became really jaded. I lost my faith. And so now that I have this renewal and this revival of the Spirit, I'm telling you, like, my life has changed for the better. And so I'm more excited now. I'm more grateful. I see things differently. My perception of things have changed. Like in the past, if let's say I have like confrontation with someone, normally I would find who's at fault. Like normally my old self would have, I was very black and white. It's like either you're wrong or I'm wrong. There was a lot of ego there on my side. And now I feel like I've become more accepting. I've become more compassionate. I've become more forgiving. I've become more understanding of the other person if there's confrontation. It's not about being right or wrong, it's about understanding both sides. So I'd say that's like one of the biggest change for me this year is my faith. I don't know if it's just me, but it just feels like a lot of people are feeling this revival of the spirit. And I don't know if it's because of just what's happening around the world. There's a lot of conflict, there's war, there's just a lot. There's a lot of energies, there's a lot of people who are lost, there's a lot of corruption. I mean, oftentimes like we get lost. We just get lost in life. We get lost in the grind. And you know, that was me. I was kind of lost. And I know it's so shocking, like, what? Like, you're lost, Michelle. You look at all the stuff you've done. I'm telling you, I was very lost. I would say one of the biggest practices that changed my life was meditation. I'm someone where I'm very much in my head. I'm constantly thinking, and I think it comes from my upbringing where I was living in a life of constant fear and survival. And so I was constantly just trying to figure out, how do I survive this day? How do I survive the next day? And I was bringing that into my adult life. And then, and that helped me in many ways. It helped me during my YouTube career where I needed to hustle, I needed to grind, I was making content, I was literally filming every day. Something I wish I did earlier during my YouTube career was to kind of like step back, take a break, step back, reflect, reassess, and then integrate lessons into my life so that I don't repeat the same mistakes over and over and over again. But I didn't do that. I was just constantly reacting, and surviving. That led me into a very dark path of just getting into like very self-destructive like patterns. I was in a really bad place, I'm not gonna lie. And I didn't know how to get out of it. And I thought I could get out of it by just thinking my way out of it, instead of putting my faith in God. This was the year where I decided to do that, was I'm just gonna put my faith in God and I'm gonna relinquish trying to control everything. Because for the longest time in my life, I needed to be in control. It was really important for me to be in control and to control every outcome. But what I noticed along the way was there are some things that are just out of your control. No matter how much you try to change it, no matter how much you try to worry about it, there were just things that were completely out of my control, and I was worried about things that I shouldn't have worried about, honestly. Something that's interesting that I wanted to kind of highlight in today's video is manifestation. A lot of the things that I manifested during 2022 for 2023, many of them came true. Something that I did last year that I think would be very helpful for many of you is to make a manifestation movie. Because I made one last year, and it's so insane how 80% of the stuff that I listed in my manifestation movie came true this year. Let me walk you through what is a manifestation movie. Have you ever watched a movie and you had a dream about it? There's something powerful about movies that stay with us. This is why manifestation movies are game changers. Manifestation movies are essentially a personal movie trailer you'll watch before you go to sleep. So what you want to do is make a 1 to 2 minute max manifestation movie. You make a video using photos, music, and affirmations about your goals. So you want to create a clear vision for your future self in order to get access to your subconscious mind. We are emotional beings and we remember emotional events. And the movie that you create will help activate the limbic system of the brain, which is a gateway to the subconscious mind. You want to activate that part of the brain that controls long-term memory and make new memories of your future events. This will condition yourself to naturally navigate in a new direction in life. And so the idea of this is like, well, I'm sure many of you have heard like vision boards. Like I've made a vision board, my brand has made a vision board, like everyone I know has made a vision board. But what makes manifestation movies, in my opinion, more powerful than a vision board is that it's like a movie. You're watching this right before you go to sleep. And so the hack is that when you're getting sleepy, your brain goes into theta state, right between awake and asleep. And this is when your mind is the most suggestible. And this is the perfect time to watch your manifestation movie. You want to watch it, and then when you go to sleep, because your mind believes that movie is real. It's your current life right now. You're creating these long-term memories in your mind that believes that is real. And so what you'll notice, and this is something I can speak from personal experience, is that what I noticed was that every night I was watching my manifestation movie, I would wake up the next day and I noticed that my decision making shifted more towards what I saw in the movie. So if I wanted to be healthier, I started to make more healthier life choices. A manifestation movie to me is kind of like a prayer. It's like a visual prayer that you see, that you're watching. And so I find that it's really inspiring. I notice that whenever I watch mine, the next day I just feel better. I feel more at peace. I feel like I can take on the day. I know a lot of people, and even me, like sometimes I'll go to sleep to positive affirmations and you just hear it in the background and it's like, you're beautiful, you're worthy. And I wake up the next day, I'm like, oh, I'm feeling so beautiful and worthy. Manifestation movies are essentially like that, but it's much more personal. It's more dialed in on your personal goals and the future that you want for yourself. And so I'm just going to watch the one I made last year. I'm going to show a little bit of it because I don't want to show all of it. It's very personal. But just so you can get an idea of what it can be. A big thing that I think is going to be really important about creating your manifestation movie is you want to find a song that anchors the video, that anchors the vision, because the idea is that the song is supposed to inspire you. It's supposed to kind of open your heart and connect you to that vision. And so even if you hear it without seeing the visuals, you can feel the emotions that you normally would if you saw the video. So I'm going to watch it with you and, make a few comments on it. Turn it down a bit. So the visuals I used for this is one of my favorite scenes in a video game that really shaped me, which is Final Fantasy X. I really relate to this character, Yuna, who's like a healer. She's a white mage. And so I started off with affirmations, and I really feel it. Like, these are affirmations that speak to me. And you notice the I am is capitalized. It's really powerful for me to kind of like claim that. Like, I am a creator. I am a healer. I am that. So this was a huge one. Like right here, I'm just going to pause it. My connection to God grows stronger. That was last year. And I really wanted that. And it was this year where that moment happened, where I had that spiritual awakening. I felt the Holy Spirit. And let me tell you that I really want to save that for my podcast, because I really want to go deep on my experience. But that actually happened. And I know for a fact it was because of this movie I watched every night. I know for a fact that helped inspire that moment to happen. First off, this scene is amazing in Sailor Moon. You'll see a lot of Sailor Moon references in this, but I will remove programs and patterns that no longer serve me, because I had a lot of just negative patterns that were holding me back from reaching my potential. And these were things I needed to reflect on so that I could understand where they came from, find the root cause, identify what that was, acknowledge it, and letting it go, and forgiving myself and moving on. So that was really huge for me this year, was identifying many, many of these patterns. And the thing is, like, you don't get rid of all of them. I feel like most people think, oh, like, I'm going to go on this healing journey and get rid of all my traumas and I'll feel better. It doesn't work like that. It's like exercising. You have to exercise like forever. Like, you can't just exercise once and just be fit and it's like, okay, I'm done. So this is a practice that you have to do daily in your life. And it's really important to be aware of your thoughts, because we tend to think our thoughts really come from us. But oftentimes a lot of them don't really come from us. It comes from trauma that we haven't really identified. And we're just reacting to these patterns rather than understanding where they come from, acknowledging it, and then removing it, and then being less reactive and more intentional. So let's keep going. Yes, I will have a balanced lifestyle and routine. That happened this year. I wouldn't say I'm more fit, but I'm definitely healthier. This one was massive for me, just having mental and emotional clarity. And my family too, yes. It was important for me to open my heart. I feel like for the longest time my heart was closed up because of the hurt that I went through, and it was a defense mechanism where I started to lock up my heart. I started to be less open And then because of that, I became more critical of myself, which made me more critical of others. I became more judgmental of myself, which made me judgmental of others. And a lot of it stemmed from just my heart being closed up. So that was something I really wanted to address and work on and really open up my heart. But just because you open up your heart doesn't mean you should just be like, oh, I'm going to love everyone. Like, yeah, it's really important to have unconditional love, but you also need discernment. You have to also know when to draw the line and to have boundaries, and that comes with experience. And so opening my heart chakra was a really massive, massive shift for me. Okay. This one, first off, no spoilers alert, but this scene in Sailor Moon always makes me cry. This was like one of my biggest requests in my manifestation movie, was attracting people who are my cosmic family, because you meet people, whether they're friends, colleagues, whatever it is, right? We're social creatures. We meet a lot of people. I met a lot of people who I learned a lot from. You know, they were big lessons to me, but they brought me so much pain. And I know, like, a lot of the people who bring you pain, it is a lesson, whether it's a karmic lesson or a lesson for you to overcome certain parts of your ego. I think I was ready when I wrote this part, when I made this part in my manifestation movie. I was ready to finally meet my cosmic family. And, like, what is cosmic family? Basically, I believe that, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. Because we're spiritual beings, who knows how old we are? You ever come across people, you've met them, and you're like, wow, I feel like I've known you, or you just have that deep knowing, that deep connection that you've known them in some other lifetime. I wanted to meet people that I knew from different lifetimes, that were part of my journey, that were my cosmic family. I actually did meet amazing people who I know are my cosmic family, but there's this one person I met. I don't want to cry, but, like, can't help it, That's what happens when you open your heart. But because I don't have a big sister. I'm the big sister, but I felt like I finally met, like, my big sister, who I'm super grateful for. So that was, like, a really big shift in my life, was meeting this person, because she's to me, she's a very extraordinary person, and I've learned so much from her. And it's really rare for me to meet a woman who doesn't want anything from me, doesn't want to use me for my clout, doesn't want money from me. Usually people want to use her, but that was a really big pivotal moment for me, was to meeting this person who I really believe I attracted because of this manifestation movie. I really feel like she's part of my family, and she feels the same way. We feel like we're like sisters from some other lifetime. And I'm so grateful to God that God brought us together. And what's so wholesome about our friendship is that we pray every night at midnight together. We keep our faith really strong, and we keep each other accountable. So every midnight we pray together. So I'm really, really happy that I met her. So that was, like, a really big one. Oh, I love this part. I will unlock more of my superpowers, which I really feel like I did this year. I am Michelle Phan, and this is my story. I just love that scene in this game. So yeah, that's my manifestation movie, and it helped inspire me to kind of shape the future I wanted for myself. And so this is something that I've shared to a lot of, like, my close friends, where I meet up with them, I'm having dinner, and I bring up the manifestation movie, and they're like, what? Like, I'm gonna try this myself. And then a few months later I hear back from them, and they're like, oh my gosh, Michelle, like, these manifestations are coming true. I'm like, I know, right? It's a crazy hack. So I hope that inspires you to get inspired to create a new vision board for yourself, because 2024 is coming around the corner. And I wanted to make this video to kind of show you how manifestation is real, because if you really believe that we are the observer of our reality, and so if we're observing something, we can change that reality. Just imagine yourself how can you change your own reality? And it really starts with your thoughts. If you have the same thoughts all the time in your mind, you're going to make the same decisions, have the same patterns, and then create the same reality for yourself. But if you want to change your reality, it starts with changing your thoughts. And so this manifestation movie helps reinforce healthier, better thought patterns in your mind. And you see it visually, you hear it with music. So it's essentially a movie trailer that is supposed to inspire you to just, create and shape the future that you want for yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly just do my eyeshadow. We are restocking Saturn's Return in January. They sold out the moment we launched it a month ago. So I just want to remind you all that January we're restocking these. So a big personal project that I'm really excited about is my podcast. So I know I've been hearing this for years. I go on other people's podcasts and everyone's like, Michelle, make your own podcast, launch your own podcast. And I really wanted to take time to develop and work on myself before doing the podcast because I want to have something of substance. I know many of you've been watching me throughout all these years making makeup tutorials, and I love makeup. I think makeup, beauty, skincare, it's part of my DNA. It's part of who I am. But I feel like there's more to me than just that aspect of my life that I want to talk about. So just having a podcast, it just makes sense to have a format where I can play and explore all these different topics, whether it's like about consciousness, spirituality, relationships, entrepreneurship. I finally felt ready this year to do it. And also it helps finding a really great co-host. So I have an amazing co-host who's I think she's going to compliment me really well on this podcast. And so I'm very excited to work with her on it. And it's going to be like a new journey. There's a lot of people I want to bring on as guests. So that's going to be a big personal project. It's coming out next year. We're going to start shooting and filming in January. I will definitely be reading the comments in this video, but if you have any suggestions on topics that you want me to cover, guests that you would love for me to have, please let me know in the comment section. I'll be reading it. I'm very, very looking forward to just seeing your suggestions. So I'm just going to make my face a little smaller, do a little bit of contouring. Wow, so crazy what a difference this makes. For some reason, I just look good with this format of contouring. It just works with me. I look like a completely different person now. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and apply mascara. I'm using here M's Pick Me Up mascara, which will be included in the Olens kit. So this mascara was developed in Korea and it has tubing technology. So all you need to do is wash your face with warm water and it comes right off. Many of you who've been watching my videos throughout the years, you know that I'm a huge fan of contact lenses. I love how they can completely transform your look. I'm so excited to reveal to you the Moonrise collection. The first shade we have here is Fawn Brown. It's like a honey amber shade with a crescent moon highlight. And I like to position this on the lower part of my eyes just to give it that moonlit look. And the second shade is Dew Gray. Dew Gray is like a watery moonlight color, has that silver undertone. You can wear them up to 30 days. And if you're interested in both lenses, there is the Moonrise Bundle collection. It's limited edition. It looks like this. It's so beautiful. It comes with the 2 shades, including the Pick Me Up mascara by M. So this collection is exclusively available on Olens. I'm going to add all the links and everything in the description. Also, don't forget to use my coupon code Michelle10 if you want a discount. We all love a good discount. So it's all available on Olens. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the 2 shades so you can see what they look like. And the cool thing about Olens is that you can add your prescription if you are someone who needs prescription grade lenses. The first shade I am going to show you is the Fawn Brown. So how I like to apply it on is because I want the rim light to be on the bottom of my eyes, I'm applying it with that on the bottom. So I'm gonna just open it up like this, just pop this baby right on like so that the rim is on the bottom. So this is Fawn Brown. And let me show you dew gray on this eye. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup so I can get on with this shoot. All right, so this is my final look. Thank you so much for watching and listening and catching up with me. I hope this video inspired you to stay positive, to manifest the future that you want for yourself. I'm wishing you all the best of luck, and I look forward to seeing you next year. Good luck, everyone. Lots of love.